And then we're going to spend next week practicing. And then we're going to take our test.
Is that method elimination?
Okay.
Today's method is elimination. The final method is the final method. January, the end of January. So here's what's going to happen if you really want to know. We'll spend next week reviewing, practicing systems, doing all that stuff, and then we will take our test. We'll start A4, statistics. We'll do some stuff with statistics right before winter break. Then you'll be gone for 2 weeks. And when you come back, we're going to work on a work sample. And then you're going to take your final. Whoa, you should be super thankful for work samples, let me tell you.
Why?
Because they are your ticket to graduating instead of taking a test one time your junior year that if you fail, you don't graduate.
Oh, okay.
It gives you multiple chances.
It gives you, so it's just like a portfolio. They don't, it's just only can help you. They can't hurt you. They only can help you, which is kind of nice. Okay, so that's kind of how the next month is going to go. So you guys have your head wrapped around it. Let's get rolling with today's stuff. In your notebooks, I am going to be checking for homework 3.4. I think that's the right one. It was the expense and revenue stuff.
Yeah.
Where were you handing it out?
It was, you didn't get it. I realize now because you left and people were grabbing it when they finished their quiz. So expense and revenue. This stuff. Boogieing. My moves are better. I probably have better moves. We could have a dance off. Who do you think would win? Yeah, they don't care very much. All right. Festivus for the rest of us? What? No? Last day of November. Can't even believe it.
I can.
I can as well.
Hey,
It's almost over.
Yay, we're almost here.
So we have another trip today because I want more kids.
School or just?
I got it.
I agree with you.
Because if somebody else said, can we have one school?
Please. Who can tell me, using their words, when I say solve this system by substitution, what am I asking you to do? Yes, Anthony.
What is substitution?
So I'm gonna put what would that look like? Let's follow what he said. Yeah, this. Hold on though. This is a fair thing, and I'm writing this. I'm writing this because I've seen this before. Anthony is not alone in his confusion. No, I'm not. That's not even a tease. This is what some of us are like. Oh yeah. We kind of get the one method. And we're like, put them equal, put them equal, put them equal. But this doesn't mean anything. We have to be careful what we're trying to pay attention to. What we're trying to pay attention to is some of the structure here. This is a really important statement. The fact that it says that y is equal to a half x minus 4. Because if y is equal to a half x minus 4, I can only plug this stuff in for what? Y. I can only replace y with that expression. I can't just go throwing it anywhere I want willy-nilly. Okay? So really what I'm asking you to do, I'm saying take this, and because it's equal to y, I can substitute it. So where would I put it? Yeah, where here is, and you need to make sure you're putting parentheses, because this says 2 times y, It's 2 times all of that. So that's the reminder. No. You write it. You try. I'll write it in a second. You try writing it. I'll write it in a second, and then we'll get going to solve. Okay. So this is what we did last Tuesday. Just to remind you. The equation you should be solving. This is the equation. That's what it looks like once we've plugged it in for y. Notice the y is gone. No more y's. I know, I'm reteaching. I'm reteaching.
What was that? It scared me.
Point in both equations. You can check your point in both equations. If you have an answer, you're not sure about it, plug it back in. Plug it back in. Plug it back in. Plug it back in. It's important to put the fraction in parentheses. When you're working with fractions on your calculator, put them in parentheses. Put them in parentheses. Put them in parentheses. On this equation, you'll be fine. Sometimes, sometimes you can get away without it, but if you, as a practice, always put it in parentheses, then you won't be wrong. The world, I don't need the world ending on me right now. Okay, so 2 times a half. 2 times a half is 1. 2 times 9 is 10, then 2, 8. 2, can I do 2 steps? Can we handle? Can we handle?
Yes.
Okay.
No.
I thought it was a half. Yes, I do. I know it all. I'm gonna do 2 things because I can. I'm gonna combine my x's, right? Combine like terms. So 3x plus 1x is, I'm not gonna do 2 steps, I lied. That's gonna be 4x minus 8 equals 8. You right here, you didn't have to do this first. You might have added the 8 first, and that's fine. You can add the 8 first. I'm gonna add it now, right? So I'm adding the 8 now. Doesn't matter when we add it. 4x equals 16. Yes. Did you do weird 8s? Did you do 8 plus 8 right here though? What'd you have your 4x equals to? Did you have 3x plus 1x? Equals what? Nothing? Because you, okay. So right here,
I did.
plus 8 right here. So that these guys cancel out, you're right. But then on the other side, you should have 16 left. So you should have 3x plus 1x equals 16. Okay. Now, Abraham.
Not Abraham.
For some reason, Abraham and Anthony, I've been getting you guys mixed up. Because you've both been gone, like, so don't trick me. Don't trick me over here. They don't look the same. Here's the problem. Here's the problem. I still have like 3 more things to do on this problem. Okay, the first thing now is I need to figure out what y is. How do I figure out what y is? Plug in x up to my original equation. So I plug in x up here, right? Solve for y. Here's step 2. Solve for y. I have this, a half x minus 4. I'm going to take this guy and plug it in for x. Again, the reason I can plug it in for x is kind of the same thing that happened up here. I can plug it in because it's equal to x. So I would have that y equals a half times 4 minus 4. Y, a half times 4 is 2. Y equals negative 2. So I have x, I have y. Okay, what's next? No, to both equations.
Got it.
Both equations. He said the other equation. You've got to be kidding me.
I promise you. Let's go.
Yeah.
That's not Mr. Cluten. This is from Mr. Cluten. You need to have a word with your homie.
Not mine. I'm in the math department.
Oh my god. I'm gonna have to call him. Ever send me a paper towel ever again. Okay. Again.
I just told you all everything you could do.
Thanks, I heard you. Thankfully, I hope you said it right. Again, big one. Check both equations. Both equations have to be true. Notice how I'm labeling my work? Notice I'm labeling my work because there's a lot that goes into things. Also, what I'm really preparing you guys for is your work sample.
No.
Oh.
Really, I'm just preparing you for your work sample. Okay? Just so you know. These are things. If you do this in your work sample,
How many math work samples do you do?
2.
Right. Yay, we did one last year. Well, no, we did 3.
You will do more. You will do another one at the end of this year, and you'll do another 2 next year.
Wait, what? 2?
You'll do a total of, you should have done 1 or 2 last year.
I did 1.
Okay, so then you guys will hopefully do a total of 5. You only need to pass 2 of them,
Oh, thank you.
but you'll
It
just
gives
do
you
them.
more
Again,
chances.
they can't hurt you. It's just,
The more likely
Why would they
you
want
are
us to do it?
graduate if you have.
Like, here, have some extra.
you're gonna do them as part of class. Stop complaining. You're not even there yet. Ugh. What? What?
Because we, yeah, they say congratulations, you're over.
Yeah, you get a sticker.
You're a superstar.
Um,
And one of the corners is wrinkled.
Okay, okay. Let's finish. Sorry. Real quick so I can be done with this. Check both equations. Make sure you're adding this. So I have my first equation, half x minus 4, and I have my second equation. I can't tell you enough that I'm preparing you for your work sample. If you don't check both equations, guess what? You won't pass your work sample. And be like, wah, wah.
And then you gotta pass a harder math.
You have to check both. Hey, zip it. Plug them in. A half times 4 minus 4. Negative 2 equals 2 minus 4. Negative 2 equals negative 2. Yay!
What was that?
Okay. Check both equations. Actually, I don't want to do that. I want to do this. So I plugged it in. My first equation was right here. Plugged them in. I got negative 2 equals negative 2. That's good. That's true. It works for that line. Essentially, that means that the point 4, negative 2 is on the first line. That point is on the line, which is good. That's what this means. It needs to be on the first line and on the second line. There's only one point on both those lines, yes? Right? Lines only cross at one point. So when we're checking to see, is that point on both those lines? Okay. 3 times 4 plus 2 times negative 2 equals 8. 12 minus 4 equals 8. Es la verdad. 8 equals 8. Check. This is what we're shooting for. Okay? So again, that's wild. That's a whole page for one problem. A lot of work. I know they're dense. What? Yeah, not right now. Not right now. Okay. All right, guys, are you ready for the new method?
Yes.
Actually, I don't know if I'm ready. Hold on.
He's not ready.
No.
We're not ready. Let's light it on fire.
Wait, what? On fire? What?
What is substitute?
Something on
Oh
fire.
man.
No.
This is not lollipops. I'm sorry.
What about it?
I don't think that we need it.
So here's the 2 equations you're going to be right. What I would like you to do right now, just reading this first situation. the two equations that you're going to be writing, you're going to be writing an equation that talks about price, and you're going to be writing an equation that talks about quantity, how many items. Before you write an equation, you might not do it before. Okay. If you're going to use X and Y, if you're going to use H and S, hot dogs and sandwiches, I don't know, you can use whatever you want, right? We're talking about hot dogs and sandwiches. Hot dogs and sandwiches. So you can use X and Y. You can use H and S. You have 45 seconds to write two equations. 45 seconds to write two equations. I go to solve this. I look at, okay, great. There's two parts of this. In my price equation, there's the total amount we paid for food. There's $2.95 for a hot dog and $9.95 for steak sandwiches. Those three things have to be in my price equation. Okay? So here I would say, okay, great. That means it would be $2.95 per hot dog plus $9.95 per steak sandwich. And that gives me a total of $73.43.75. Good thing I gave myself room. This is what I would do. But as soon as I wrote that equation, I would go, oh crap, I didn't define my variables. If you're looking at this, right, or if someone else is looking at this, they would go, what the heck are X and Y? Like what? That equation, where did it come from? What are X and Y? So you have to say it. That's what I mean when I say define your variables. What are you talking about? What are X and Y? Okay, so back over here, I'm going to make my little key that says X is equal to what?
Hot dog.
Nope, more specific.
Price.
It's the price of hot dogs. So $2.95 per the price of hot dog.
No, number of.
Yeah, listen, Abraham, you just got shut down. Abby's going to tell you. She shut you down, not me. Why is it not price?
Because you can't
Because we-
multiply price by.
Oh my gosh, two beautiful things. One, because you already have price. Two, because price is constant. We already know what it is. It can't be a variable if we already know it's $2.95. Okay? The question will usually tell you what you're talking about. The question is how many of each item, right? Then my answer is going to be the number of hot dogs. Whatever your answer is what your variables are going to be. Okay? My answer would be the number of hot dogs. Don't say hashtag of hot dogs. If X is the number of hot dogs, then of course what's Y?
No,
Of what?
Number of steak sandwiches.
Yeah, number of steak sandies. Yeah. Okay, so here, that piece, big. When I say define the variables, that's what I'm talking about. You got to tell me what X and Y are. Okay, we've got a price equation. Now we need an item equation. What am I talking about? Item.
985 items.
Right, we got 985 items. Say? Yeah. Here's what we got. Look. Number of hot dogs plus the number of sandwiches is 985 items. This is my item equation. It's simply the number of hot dogs plus the number of steak sandwiches equals 985. That's what it is. That's my item equation. Okay? The number of hot dogs plus the number of sandwiches is a total of 985 items sold. Now, here's the kicker. I'm gonna rewrite these for us.
why do you think? Like us.
Here's what happens when we start talking about real stuff. Here's our system then. How are we gonna do it?
I don't know, just divide it.
You could, the item equation, you could solve it so that Y is on that side.
You could do
Hold on.
division.
Listen to what Abby said and try and add to this, or tell me if she's crazy. one of them, because she's
I
Abby's always
may be,
Arcane. Listen to her. And don't say anything mean or you're gonna get punched by both of us.
already
I'm fine
gonna
with
get
that.
punched.
Sure,
Just
she
like
already
adult
beat
Hey,
me.
hush.
You could solve the item equation x plus y equals 985. You could solve it so that you have y equals something.
What do you guys think?
Well, no, I mean like you could subtract the x and put it on the other side with the 985, so it would be y equals minus 985 minus x
Hold on. How
And
many
then you
people
could
are following what
substitute
she's saying?
into the y.
You guys are, what about back there? Is anyone following what she's saying? Okay. Arcane, I'm gonna ask you to stop talking. Okay. Abby is saying, let's just see. I want you guys to see what she's saying to try and see if it makes any sense. I'm not gonna say if it makes any sense right now. She's saying go like this. So that you would have this. Oh, I don't know. Well, let's see first. Let's see first. This is what Abby's saying. I'm not saying anything.
Okay,
Go ahead.
me?
Sure.
Okay. So 2.95x plus 9.95, and then you would substitute it like you did with the other systems, where you put, instead of just the y, you do like parentheses 985 minus x, and then you could equals 7343.75, and you could solve it.
You say yeah. You say yeah? Anyone want to say no?
No.
Do you actually want to say no to the math problem, or you just want to say no?
I'll say no, just for the sake of us having an argument.
Yeah. But you agreed with her, because I heard you saying you
But
were
do
already.
you have like an argument against it? Do you have a better solution?
Yes and yeah.
So here's what Abby did.
2.95.
She's changing this equation. Right? She changed that equation to look like this. So now really her system is this. That's the second equation, and then she still has this. 2.95x plus 9.95 times y is equal to all this. So these are now, she changed that second equation to look like this, so that's her system now. That's her new system. And then what she and Kale are saying is
Tails is my endorsing.
what, Anthony? This? So what do you want to do with this?
He means what Abby did, but with that.
You want to solve this equation for y?
That would be a complicated.
Well, it's more complicated. That's why I chose this.
Sure.
word.
So what I want you guys to notice is now, like here we said, oh, we can't, like I can't just smush the two equations together. I don't have really a way to do it. But if I can get one of my equations to be y equals, maybe it's the second equation. Anthony, you could do it with the first equation, but the second equation is a lot easier. If I make that y equals, now, just like we just did, Arcane, here's where you jump back in. Now, this is what kind of problem? Now what can I do with this, Arcane? Yeah, what do you say? Now I could substitute. Now I could take this, just like I did before, plug it in, and then I could figure out the number of hamburgers, number of hot dogs.
Yeah, steak sandwich.
Yeah, sorry, I'm going to say hamburgers and hot dogs every time. Okay, so what I'm going to say you should do, what you should do is on part B, maybe you do it in your notebook, maybe you do it on your paper, wherever you'd like. Go ahead and finish solving this system, please. Finish solving that system. When we start talking about real stuff, it's going to get weird. Okay? I'm just going to start. Look, like exact same steps as before. What's my first thing to do?
Oh, your first decision, make sure your division
Right?
distribute.
First thing, distribute. 995 times that. 995 times negative x. Okay? So when I'm solving, the first thing I have is that 295x comes down. 995 times 985, no say. Oh, what did I do? That's not right. What? Pause. 995 times, there it is, 985, gives me 9,875. Okay, so I've got plus 9,800.75. 995 times negative x. What number's in front of x right there?
1.
Yeah, it's like there's a negative 1. So 995 times negative 1 gives me negative 995x is equal to 7343.75. Now here's where I'm just going to go with my first thing to do, what I like to do. I like to combine like terms, right? Looking at the left side there, I have two different x values. I have 2.95x and I have negative 9.95x. What you can't do, temptation. Some of you might say, oh yeah, you add 995. You do not add 995. They're on the same side. All I have to do, because they're on the same side, I'm doing 2.95 minus 9.95. They're on the same side. There's no opposite thing happening. So if I do that, I get negative 7x. They're on the same side. I just combine them like we've been doing. So I have negative 7x plus 9,800.75, blah, blah, blah.
And then you add some.
No. In the very least, you should be writing this down, but I do not add 7x. I want to leave x where it is. I'm trying to solve for x. I need to move this, boop, to the other side.
Or you can move X to the other side.
You could and then move the 7,000. I'm not going to. You can if you want. What do I do with this? How do I flip it? Yep, just like before. Subtract it. They're big numbers, but that's okay because we're confident people.
No.
Yes, we are.
You guys are fine. Subtract it. Okay. Yes, you do get a negative number. 7343.75 minus 98. Negative 2457. So now our equation is actually starting to look quite nice. Negative 7 equals negative 2457. Last step. Divide by negative 7.
Every time you fail.
X equals 3.
That's a lot of hot dogs.
And then we can just subtract her into.
Yes.
Okay,
Everything.
so I'll cut you a deal. A, this problem is not done. We did the hard part.
Yes.
351 hot dogs sold. We did the hard part. You need to figure out steak sandwiches. Once you figure out steak sandwiches, there are two more things to do. Check it out. Listen. 1, find steak sandwiches. 2, check your answer in both equations. 3, do one of the remaining 2 problems.
Thanks, Ms.Stolte.
Who can tell me what you're doing? Hey,
We solve for steak sandwiches.
Chip?
We solve for steak sandwiches and check it, and then do one.
Cool. Solve for steak sandwiches, check both equations, one of the remaining 2 problems. Okay? I need you done. I'm going to take these from you today. I'm grading these today. What? I'm grading these today. Okay? So all of you have number 1 done, and you can choose to do number 2 or number 3. I'm going to collect this from you, though, in 10 minutes.
What?
10 minutes.
7.5 middle or just like 7?
I know. You should have done 16. I'm sorry, not that. That's beautiful. Okay. Now, in the box,
Yes.
in all caps, you should write in all caps. It's very nice. You need to write the word elimination.
Oh no, this is not.
It's the easiest one.
What is elimination?
Actually, yeah, it is.
We're going to do 2 examples. First example. There's 2 types of elimination. That's what I've got to tell you. There's 2 types of elimination. Yahi, go ahead.
When your numbers match, like,
Okay. Yeah, you're right.
when you have the same variables, right?
Yeah. Adding is the first method of elimination. Anyone want to take a stab in the dark? Crazy guess.
Subtracting.
Subtracting. Good call.
I was gonna go blaze of death, but it's just can't.
That'll be our last method, Yahi. We'll do that on Thursday. Okay. Adding and subtracting. Now, as an example, let's say I have this equation. Now, notice, hey, Ed, stop doing that. Yep, Lorenzo. Again, what we're trying to notice, what we're trying to make sense of is the structure of these mathematical equations, okay? We're trying to make sense of the structure. What I would love it, Arcane, pick your head up. What I would love it if you notice is that this looks different from our other problems, right? This looks different than this.
This is a 20.
Who can tell me why they're different? Yahi, what?
The numbers match up. Like, X and everything is not the same.
They have
variables.
Y.
Okay,
Same variables.
the X's and Y's are here, and are they lined up right here?
Same line structure.
No.
No, so here they're lined up. Okay, what else though? Patrick, are you raising your hand? Or, why are they different? Why do you think we need a new way to do this? What's the problem? What's the problem with this? Henry, wake up.
You can't.
Hallie. Yeah, it's not just y equals. And a step further, it's not nice, right? There's neither of these equations are nice. Like when Abby was looking at her equation, her little method last time, right? The method last time, this was a nice equation. This was an easy equation to make y equals. But this, it's all kinds of jumbly. All kinds of jumbly. Who can tell me one more thing they noticed about these though? Anything cool looking? Yeah? Yeah, so check it out. Here, right here, this is your moneymaker. Because check this out. This is the easiest method, if we can understand it. Okay? Here's what we're going to do. It's called adding. We are going to add the 2 equations. So it's going to look like this. I'm going to rewrite mine so we can really see what I'm talking about. I'm going to add my equation. So check it out. I'm going to add each piece. I'm adding this, adding this, adding this. And I'm writing a whole new equation. What's 8x plus 2x?
10x.
Boom. What's 4y minus 4y?
4, 8, 8, 0, 4, 8.
Shh, stop with the mouth vomit. Hold on. 4 minus 4, what happens? Use the word I want you to use.
Y. It's Y.
Cancel it.
They do what?
Oh, they eliminate.
Ah! The y's are eliminated. 4y minus 4y, they cancel each other out. That's why it's called elimination. The y's are gone. Boom, gone. Y's out. And I have 20 plus negative 30, which would be negative 10. So check it out. In one step, we went from 2 crazier equations to a super easy equation.
But it's not always going to be that easy, is it?
Hold on. Yes, it will be pretty darn close. 2, now of course you solve the new equation. The new equation was 10x equals negative 10. Not too difficult to solve. Arcane, you might want to, dude, I'm telling you, this way is so much easier than the other way you've been doing. How do I solve it? Lorenzo, what do I do? Lorenzo, what do I do? Lorenzo, shh. What do I do? Yeah, how? By? Beautiful. Divide by 10. What's x equal? You think you're done?
No. There you go.
Yes, we are done.
No.
You're not done.
Where's it go? No.
Yeah, you gotta figure out why.
Yeah.
It's elimination.
Be quiet. Plug in and solve for y. Hey. The quicker we get through this, the quicker we move on. Which equation are you going to plug it into? The first one. You could do either. They should be the same. So I'm going to go back to my first equation, was this. And I'm going to plug that -1. Again, if it's what x is equal to, it goes in for x. You right now have 30 seconds to tell me what y equals. 30 seconds to tell me what y equals. Plug in -1 for x. This is the equation we're solving. LP did not get y equals 3. Okay. If I finish this out real quick. Well, I just barked. -8 equals 4y plus 4y. Add 8. Right into my mouth. What? Yep.
Goals.
4y equals 28. Y equals 7. And I ran off my page.
Jeez.
Y equals 7. Sorry, I ran off my page. Go. Okay. Whoa. Okay. Now.
That was easy.
I'm going to tell you what, though.
Look,
How are your brains?
terrible.
How are we doing?
I,
Here's what I want. On a scale of 1 to 5, 1 is Ms.Stolte, my brain's about to explode. I can't handle. 5 is cruiser. Give me more.
one.
Without saying, seen a blondo. Got right. That one. Where are you at? One. Everyone, you see him. You're just gonna show me right here. Okay. Yeah. Zeros. Okay. Here's the deal, though. I gotta tell you. I gave you some real talk at the beginning of class. I'm gonna give you some more right now, Yahi. I am willing to stop here if you guys can give me one more good example. Now, yeah, if you can't, look at this guy, Henry. Henry, you're gonna ruin it for the whole class. So I'm gonna give you the next step. Yeah. Lorenzo, can you do one really good one? If we can all agree to do one really good one, then I'll be done. But if you're not gonna agree, I'm gonna do the next method. Are we? We need some help here, Arcane. You're part of this class, dude. You're gonna agree to do one or not?
We're gonna do one more good elimination problem, and if we get it right, then we don't have to do the second method of elimination.
I'll take a vote. Who thinks they're gonna do? You'd rather do one more? Who wants to do just one more? Okay. So you two are my little. gonna have some chats. We're gonna go sit at our own table. Okay? Okay. We're gonna leave this half then. We'll do subtracting on Thursday. I'm gonna skip this. I'm not gonna make you subtract today, but keep this empty. We're gonna come back to it. Okay? We're gonna come back to this. And here's the deal.
Potato.
I need something.
Do you need a hot
You
dog?